Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So for this video, I want to talk about the controversy around the release of the Little Mermaid live version. There's been controversy around this issue because you have an African-American woman by the name of Halle Bailey who's going to play the role of Ariel. And we know years ago when the cartoon was released, Ariel was a white character, but because there's going to be a black woman playing this role, you have some white racists who are up in arms and upset, and they are actually using the hashtag #NotMyAriel. And then you also have African Americans who are celebrating this. You have African American women and girls celebrating this. There have been videos posted online of little girls reacting to the trailer featuring this black woman actress as Ariel. And, you know, there's some comments such as, she's brown like me. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about the importance of representation. So I want to share my thoughts about this. You know, first of all, I'm not surprised by the racist reaction. We see this time and time again. You know, we saw it with, you know, a lot of science fiction and just fantasy type of materials when they're released and they're black characters. All of a sudden, these people take offense to that and they get outraged about it. We saw that around Star Wars, you know, both with the release of the new series of Star Wars movies where you had a black man playing the role of a stormtrooper. We saw this with a black woman playing the role of an inquisitor. People were all upset and up in arms with that. And then people have been raising all kinds of hell because there's a black man in the House of Dragons. So a lot of people are constantly up in arms about this. And to me, this is absolutely ridiculous. These characters that they are playing are mythological characters. These are fantasy characters. These are not historical characters. They are figments of people's imagination. And as such, anybody can take on these roles. Any person of any race or ethnicity can play the roles of these fictional characters. So I don't know or understand why these races are tripping over this. And these same people don't have the same kind of outrage or reaction when films whitewash black history by depicting real black figures as white people or real black gods as white people. You know, we've seen this with movies about ancient Egypt. You know, they depict African kings, and that's what they are, African kings and African gods as white. They're okay with that. You know, I saw this one posting where they showed all these different characters of different races and ethnicities being played by white people. You know, I saw one with John Wayne playing the role of Genghis Khan. These people had no outrage for that. They have no outrage when it's white people whitewashing actual history. But yet and still they want to be upset about this. So that's one thing. You know, that's my response to the racist reaction. Is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. And we're talking about fantasy here, make-believe, you know, mermaids and dragons and all this stuff, which is just figments of people's imagination. So again, this is absolutely absurd, and it shows how ridiculous racism actually is. The other thing that I want to talk about is, you know, just the importance of representation. I remember as a kid, all of the major heroes were white. All the major superheroes were white. And, you know, there were a few minor black superheroes, but they were like the sidekicks. They were at the margins. They were virtually irrelevant and invisible. It was all about white heroes. And today we still see that to some degree, but things have improved, you know, compared to when I was a child. And then when we look at little girls, when they look to princesses, the overwhelming majority of the princesses in Disney have been white. Imagine the damage that this does for black minds when they are constantly bombarded with these types of images. Just imagine the toxicity. Anytime your heroes or people that you admire are white and you're a black person and you don't see any black images in that way or very few in that way, you instinctively begin to idolize whiteness. And you begin to have an inferiority complex about your own blackness. And we see it all the time. We see it when, black girls want to have blonde hair or long hair resembling European features. Or we see our black celebrities, our black women celebrities lightening their skin, bleaching their skin and going under the knife, having plastic surgery done so that they can resemble these Europeans. That's how toxic this stuff is. That's how much this stuff actually matters, because these images shape our concepts of self. They shape our self-image and our self-esteem when we see these images of positive people as white and negative people as black. So this matters. So it is very important that our girls have black women and girls to look up to, black imagery to look up to. That's why representation matters. And, this is a positive step that they would have, a black woman play this role, just like they had a black woman play Cinderella in these live versions of these particular Disney shows. These things are important. We give all our dollars to these companies and they don't even represent us. So it's a good thing to see this development. And, I think that ultimately we need to move beyond the space of begging other people to represent us in their films, in their movies, in their TV shows, in their books and all that kind of stuff. It's time for us to create our own and represent ourselves instead of begging our enemy to give us the images that we need. Instead of begging our enemy to help build our self-esteem, we need to build our own self-esteem by creating our own. So those are my thoughts. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Peace and blessings. Have a great day.